Dzień dobry, witam Państwa w bardzo specjalnym miejscu. Jesteśmy w siedzibie American Jewish Committee w Warszawie i mam ogromną przyjemność i jestem zaszczycona, że mogę Państwu przedstawić nowego szefa organizacji American Jewish Committee, pana Teda Deutscha. Hello. Hi, nice to meet you.
Good to be with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Your headquarters is in New York, but American Jewish Committee is a global organization with offices around the world, including Warsaw. And could you tell us what are the goals of AJC and what is your vision of an organization as you recently assumed the position of CEO?
Sure. And thanks. It's nice to see you in Warsaw. AJC is an organization that has been around for more than a century, and our mission is to enhance the well-being of the Jewish community in Israel and advance democratic values. We do global advocacy for the Jewish community and to advance these values. So I'm here in Warsaw because of all of the challenges to democracy in the world right now. Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine is front and center. It's what we're paying attention to. And for what we do here in Poland, our office plays a critical role in allowing us to advance democratic values here. The vision for AJC as a whole is to do advocacy with people who can help create safer environments for the Jewish community, stronger environment for democracy to prevail. And here in Warsaw, this is an important part, both because of the work that we do in those values generally, and because of the relationship between the United States and Poland, because of Poland's place in the world, and because of the long history of the Jewish community here in Poland.
How do you see Polish-Israeli relations right now, and what could be improved, and how? And we have this recent agreement concerning Poland's Israeli youth trips to Poland signed, which is maybe not perfect, but maybe somehow it's a first step in making those relations better and more friendship.
Poland and Israel have a really important relationship. We saw that just recently at the commemoration of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, when President Duda appeared with the President of Israel and the President of Germany, frankly, for a very powerful moment for us in the Jewish community especially. The relationship with Israel is very important, and as in the agreement that you referenced, the recent agreement to allow trips of Israeli students to return you're right, it's a good step forward. It's an important step because this part of Jewish history and the opportunity for Israelis to come and learn about the long history of Jews in Poland, the 1,000 years of Jewish history where the Jewish community was so welcome, and this was really a central part of the Jewish community globally and in our history. Obviously, the tragic moment that was the Holocaust, and I'm glad that those trips will resume. We had the unfortunate step back in the agreement, in the law that the Parliament passed outlawing certain types of Holocaust discourse and description as an organization that has always been clear about our position to discussions of the Holocaust and being careful to advise people the problems of referring to Polish death camps. We nevertheless also believed that outlawing language like that, with the threat of people being sent to jail, was problematic. So I'm hopeful that this recent agreement is a step forward. Our hope is that the Polish ambassador will return to Israel soon, and that Israel and Poland both in different ways, but both play significant roles in, again, getting back to what I said earlier, to the challenges taking place in Ukraine and support for the Ukrainian people.
Do you see also willingness in Israel to make these relations better?
Oh, I think that the visit by President Herzog recently was a strong indication of that.
Your organization is an American Jewish organization. How do you see Washington's relations with the current government in Israel?
There is and there has been and continues to be strong support for Israel and the United States relationship with Israel all across the United States and in the U.S. government especially. The relationship with the people of Israel, the state of Israel, is strong. And as we look at what's happening in Israel, we're being reminded on a regular basis that Israel is a vibrant democracy. We see that in the freedom of expression and the protests that are taking place on a regular basis. It's important, I think, for us to think about the relationship in those terms. For the United States and Israel, it's not just a question of Israel as a strategic ally. It's really a question of shared values, and the value of democracy is central to that, and that's important for us to think about all the time, but it's on full display now.
Why people in Israel are so massively protesting right now?
Well, in the Israeli democracy, when there are changes that the government considers making to an institution that is central to Israeli democracy, that is the Supreme Court, it's not only captured the attention of all of Israel, but there's obviously enormous amount of attention being paid all around the world, particularly in the Jewish community, given the ties that the Jewish community has to the state of Israel. When those kinds of changes are contemplated, the Israelis have made clear, certainly those that we've heard from and that we've seen marching, that they expect that any sort of changes will be ones that respect civil liberties and minority rights, that the process will be deliberative and thoughtful. That's the reason that AJC has been so supportive of President Herzog's efforts, the Israeli president's efforts, to try to reach compromise. And I continue to hope that that's where this will wind up.
How do you see nowadays and future relations between Israel and Palestinians?
Well, my hope certainly is that that in time there will be a two-state solution that can lead to a long and secure peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. But we're having this conversation within just days, hours of rockets again being launched by terrorists who control Gaza into Israel, aiming to kill Israeli civilians. So the challenge, first of all, is to ensure that there is a strong partner for peace, but ultimately it's in everyone's best interest to work together for the well-being of the Israeli people and the Palestinian people who reject the terrorists and are as repulsed by the terrorist actions trying to kill Israeli civilians as we are. We need to look for opportunities to strengthen the society and provide the opportunities that can lead to a lasting peace.
Do you see anti-Semitism, nationalism growing recently in Poland, in Europe, or in the US? If yes, what can we do to stop it?
Well, we have absolutely seen an increase in anti-Semitism. This has been a focus in the United States, as it has been around the world. AJC has been working with the Biden administration, with the White House, on the creation of a national plan to combat anti-Semitism. The EU adopted a plan here in Europe. That plan calls for European states to adopt their own. That's a direction, when you talk about Poland, that's a direction that Poland can go. Like the United States, working to adopt a strategy to combat anti-Semitism. This anti-Semitism in wherever it's located, and this is a point that I've made at the United Nations. I made this point when I was a member of government in the United States for years. When there is anti-Semitism, it's never just about the Jewish community. It suggests that there are greater problems in society, in democracy, which is why we have to confront it, all of us together, working together. That's what we're trying to do in the United States, and it's that same approach that needs to be taken everywhere around the world, including here in Poland.
One more question. What does it mean to be a Jew who lives in diaspora? And how is it different being Jewish in the US and in Poland?
Well, it's important to remember that the modern state of Israel is only 75 years old. It's an important milestone that we've just celebrated, but it's only 75 years. That's the modern state. But the connection between the Jewish people and the state of Israel, the diaspora and Israel, goes back 2,000 years. And that connection and the role that Israel has played, the yearning for Israel and a Jewish state, the important role that Israel plays in our prayers, culture, in so much of what it means to be Jewish, that's something that's shared by diaspora Jews wherever they live, whether in Poland or in the United States or anywhere else. But we've also established over all of those years strong and deep roots wherever we've lived. In the United States, May is Jewish American Heritage Month. It's a time for America to reflect on the contributions that Jewish Americans have made to the United States throughout its history in music and the arts and science and literature and government and on and on. Those ties are deep, those contributions are many. In Poland, it's important to reflect upon the full 1,000-year history of Jews in Poland and what it meant when Poland was really the center of Jewish life, also what it meant during the time of pogroms and what it meant as the Nazis attempted to exterminate the Jewish people, and all of that, I think, is part of the views of diaspora Jews where they live. Their community matters, and it's true in the United States as it's true here, and it's important to reflect the full history in both places.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks.